Hi, everybody. Good morning. 511. Glad to have you with us here as we move into another week. Happy Monday to you,
Happy
buddy.
Monday, everyone.
How you doing?
Oh, good morning, Katie. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, we want to talk about the Buffalo Bills. What do you think about Terry Pagula selling this minority stake in the team?
Okay.
We're going to talk about that, what you would like to see happen. And then also want to talk about the workload of parents who stay home with their kids and how much work they're actually doing.
Whew. It's tough. It's tough to get stuff done.
It's a lot.
With the kids around.
Yeah. So stand by. We're going to join in our TV viewers, and we'll chat about all this coming up. Good morning, everybody. 5:12 on a Monday morning. Glad to have you with us. Got Aaron with me today.
Yeah, we're all shaking out the cobwebs
I'll
on a
tell
Monday.
you what, it seems like we always have nice Mondays after weekends.
Right?
Yeah, what's going on
Blue
here?
skies again today. We do have weather to talk about as the week moves along, but we are going to warm up next weekend.
Okay.
So that'll be better.
All right, I was taking a look at the forecast for next weekend, because I was saying this to Paul yesterday. I was like, we keep having these bummer of a weekends and then these beautiful Mondays.
40s yesterday, but we're looking at temperatures back close to 70 as we head toward this Saturday and Sunday. Today, it's cool out there now. We're in the 30s. We'll be up near 50 this afternoon.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Coming up this morning, we want to talk about, what do you think about Bills owner Terry Pagula announcing that he's open to selling a minority share of the team? What are your thoughts? What would you like to see? Anything in particular? Whoever takes that minority share or potentially buys it has to be open to Pagula making the decisions for the team.
Yeah, because I had read that they're going to sell about 25%.
Yeah,
so he'll still have 75%. So you can say you're an NFL owner, which is pretty cool, especially if you have the money.
Bragging rights. There you go. Also, we want to talk about the workload of parents who stay home with their kids, and it is a lot of work that they do. So we're going to talk about those things coming up. Let us know what you think about the Bills. But first, some of today's top stories. A well-known correspondent for the Associated Press and Batavia native, Terry Anderson, has died. Anderson became one of America's longest-held hostages when he was snatched from a street in war-torn Lebanon in 1985. He was held for nearly 7 years, for most of that time tortured and chained to a wall. He later wrote about his experiences in the best-selling memoir Den of Lions. He passed away at his downstate home following complications from recent heart surgery. He was 76 years old. Today, Tesla plans to hold a grand opening for its new South Park dealership. It comes a week after 7 News learned the company's laying off 285 workers, including 5 at the dealership. It's part of Tesla's move to cut 10% of its global workforce due to a slow first quarter. The new dealership, right across the street from the Gigafactory on South Park Avenue in Buffalo, it's holding demo drives and showing off its new vehicle lineup starting at 10 a.m. And the Jewish holiday of Passover begins today. It lasts 8 days and honors the ancient Israelites' freedom from slavery in Egypt. Passover typically begins with a Seder meal. It begins tonight and runs through next Tuesday. All right, so there you go. They're your top stories for today. Just about 5:15 here, we were asking what you think about the Bills. So Bills owner Terry Pagula announcing he's open to selling a minority share of the team. At one point, some Bills Mafia members were like, oh, maybe we could all throw, Green Bay does, know. Well, that's kind of not really how it works anymore. Packers have this ownership model that's been in place for a century. So they don't really allow that as much. We talked to an expert who really said that probably wouldn't work. Teams can only have a maximum of 25 partners on an ownership team. I mean, would you like to see Bills Mafia be able to buy stock in the team? I don't know. It doesn't really matter because you can't really have it happen. So.
Yeah. Could you imagine, though, like if it was all the fans who own the team and, they lose the first 2 games, fans are like, all right, we own it, fire everybody.
Could you imagine? I know. But so, yeah, that Green Bay Packers system has been in place for like a long time.
Yeah, I don't think that's kind of grandfathered in, so that's something we can do.
So it's a little bit different. Julie McCoy made me laugh with oopsies with what she said. She said, I'm going to decline that offer. To buy the Bills. Oh, let's see here. Cindy was saying, why can't fans be bought into? Cindy, it's this, we have an entire story about it, and our Dom Tibbetts with our sports team actually did this story. And so I'll just read you what it says. It says, you probably thought at one point Green Bay Packers fans own stock in their team. Why can't Bills fans do it? The Packers have had an ownership model that was grandfathered in the 20s. That community-based ownership model has more than 530,000 stockholders. It doesn't come without flaws in the modern day. And so then he kind of talks to this sports expert about why you really can't do that these days. And so he kind of like clarifies all of that. So, because everybody was like, "We'll get all our money together," and we'll.
Yeah. No Christmas for you, kids. We're buying the Bills. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess the NFL rules do not permit large numbers of fans to buy into teams.
Okay.
It doesn't permit small amounts to be used to purchase into
Yeah.
teams. So basically, you need somebody with cash.
Yeah. And my first thing was, oh no, what's he doing? But then after looking into it, it seems like he has to kind of diversify this portfolio for tax purposes down the road, as if he's going to leave the team to his kids, and it's going to be a huge chunk of change coming out of his pocket. So if he were to sell a quarter of it, it's almost $4 billion now. So he's going to get $1 billion, and he's on the hook for all the for the stadium,
Right.
anything that goes over. So he's like, you know what? Let me sell it, get $1 billion, and then we'll put some of that toward the stadium.
You know what? I'll take $1 billion. Yeah,
With a
right.
B,
Yeah,
you know what
with
I
a
mean?
B.
I'll take 1,000. Yeah.
Isn't that just crazy? So yeah, anyways, our Dom Tibbetts did a really interesting story. It kind of breaks all of that down. Caleb just says, listen, secure the Bills. I wish for them to win next year.
Yeah. And and when he does sell a share of it, I'm hoping it's somebody with some local ties. Someone who's like,
really
I'm also a
nice.
Bills fan, and yes, I want to own a quarter of the team, but I also want to let you know it's staying here.
Right. Yeah. So if you know any local billionaires, let them know.
Let me check my Rolodex.
Really? Oh,
Nope.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's also talk about this. The workload of parents who stay home with their kids. It's got a pretty high value. So they looked at tasks that stay-at-home parents do in 80 major cities, and then they kind of analyzed how much that labor would cost should you outsource it. Okay. Cooking, cleaning, transportation, tutoring, because you're sitting there doing homework with the kids and all that stuff. So 10 cities where stay-at-home parents were the most valuable. 4 were in the US. San Francisco ranked the highest. Stay-at-home parents, they say, do about $5,200 worth of tasks per month. So about $65,000 worth of work a year.
Okay.
So if you're a stay-at-home parent,
you should pay yourself $65,000.
That's a $65,000 job. And I think that if you have kids and you're home with them, or you have a significant other who's home with them, you could totally see that. It is not easy.
Oh, 100%. I mean, just all the things you just mentioned, just the feeding and the tutoring alone, like during COVID when you're sitting there, both like can't get the computer to work.
Mm-hmm.
That was something you don't want to go through again. So yeah, that is high cost. I actually thought it would be more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of surprised too. I'd put it easily over 100. I think it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking just watching, if you had to put your child in daycare for that amount of time.
Exactly. Well, here's what Grace says. Mothers are teachers, babysitters, chefs, and more. That's so true. Do we have any parents who were stay-at-home parents? Chime in. Let us know what you think was the most difficult part. Also they say the transportation. That's not easy. And a lot of times that's why you have to have somebody who has more flexible schedule, because they got to bop everybody around all the way.
Yeah, I jokingly say I come to work to relax, but it's really not a joke.
Yeah.
Because I do my job, and it's like, okay. I mean, at home when all 3 were home, like that was what I did. Drive here, boop, boop. Okay, another sporting event, a scout event. Okay, we've got some music lessons over here. That we had like a spreadsheet to determine like what was going on. So yeah, it's a ton of driving.
And I know who probably created that spreadsheet.
Yeah, not me. I don't even know how to turn on Excel, but I did read it. So, yeah.
Justin says, listen, that's why he's going to stick to dogs. Amy says, women who care for children or even men are very special people. Oh, I was reading that women who care for men. She means women or men who care for children are very special people. I totally agree. I think it would be a very difficult thing to, like, for someone like me to have that be like the majority of what you do, because like I'm so used to like having my job, doing what I want, you know what I mean? And like when somebody else comes into play, it's not all about you anymore,
Oh,
it is all about that other person.
Yeah, like all the stuff that you used to do, that you throw that out the window.
Right.
And if you think you're going to keep your lifestyle the same, you're not.
I was getting a kick yesterday. I told Aaron I was at a birthday party and I picked up one of my friend's sons and I'm playing with the kids, whatever. And then on the way home, I'm driving and I was like, what is this sticky thing in my hair? And it took me like 10 minutes to get out whatever sticky
like
goo.
gum or something in your hair.
I don't know what it was. It like became just this big. I'm like, how did this small child manage to do this in like 40 seconds? I don't know.
I was telling the story about how Bandit attacked me the other day. And I just
my sweet baby Bandit.
Yeah.
Jeanette says she really believes it. She had to quit tutoring and teaching because after she budgeted her time and money, it was almost like volunteer work with all the driving. Absolutely. Melly says she really wished some people learned about responsibilities as a parent. Yeah, that's true.
Although tutoring, you
lot
may
of
want to circle back to now with all the Zoom stuff and tutoring. You can make a fair amount of money.
Yeah.
If whomever just said that.
Jeanette, maybe
Yeah,
you could
Jeanette.
even do it on Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, you just okay. You don't have
Yeah.
to. Maybe you don't have to drive. Although I would want a tutor next to my child.
Yeah, right.
Just saying.
To
But
show this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because if you're like, they could be like, oh yeah, sure, and looking off to the side playing video games.
Right,
like,
right. Yeah, interesting. Good point, though. Hey, guys, thanks for the conversation. At 8 o'clock on Second Cup, make sure you join us. I do have a topic, too, that if you're interested in, we're going to talk about yard sales and garage sales.
Okay.
Because I'm working on a story, and I would love to hear if you have a little bit of insight. So at 8 o'clock, join us if you're free. We'll come up with some other fun stuff to talk about, too.
I'm interested in this.
5:22, Aaron's up after the break, and he's tracking your forecast. We'll be right back.